Hey, the mood here. Do you want to reach Demigod? Or maybe you just want to get all the question marks and become the Riddler? Whatever your motives are, I am here to help. If you do decide to grind for Demigod and the leaderboards, however, remember to stay water and drink healthy. So, joking aside, I have reached Exemplar as of today with an 80% survival rate, so I can show you examples finally. You might think my survival rate is high because I'm dominating PvP, and that's very flattering, but actually you can see that I have 0.6 kills per game, which is not a lot. I'm also the type of guy who does cave troll when the server is lagging, so there's definitely a lot of things you can probably do better than me, and that is to inspire you and tell you that if I can reach Exemplar and eventually Demigod, you can do that as well. So, I try to foster a low risk, medium reward type gameplay because I feel like that's the most consistent way to gain points. And I guess on that topic we can briefly cover how points work. So, player kills will usually get somewhere between 5 to 10 points. Sub-bosses, such as Giant Centipede, Skeleton Champion, will give you 20 points. Boss kill, for example the Cave Troll, gives 90 points. And the items with status looted that you find are various based on their quality. And the same applies for treasure. You also get varying amount of points from killing monsters. So when you're looting handled items, there comes a small issue. You sometimes have to decide whether you want to make points or gold based on the current situation. Since treasure will give you more points, when I'm looting a player, what I like to do is I will try to focus on the gear that is an instant upgrade and equip it, and the gear that I had previously I will typically just drop. In that scenario, the looted gear will not take up space in my inventory. So now that we have covered points, let's talk about preparation for the run briefly. I will always take 12 bandages, 12 potions, some protection potions, or ales if I have any, but I will not go to trade to buy them. Lockpicks are always nice to have, 2 at least. A luck potion I will typically take if it's not out of stock. Potion of invisibility I sometimes use to drop aggro from monsters. It can be useful but very situational. Since I'm playing a fighter, I also take bolts and Francescas. These are really nice and give you the extra edge in PvP. The throwing axes also help you loot boxes faster, and you don't technically lose them when you do that, so that is nice. When it comes to the gear that I'm using, very often after I die, I will go in semi-naked or in white gear, and I just build my kit up as I'm playing. This time around I'm playing semi-plate with agility rolls on multiple items. The thing is, I really feel like the plate gameplay is slow, so I will play Slayer around 80% of the time. So I think it's not a secret by now, but the meta for finding treasure fast and efficient is breaking these boxes. It's especially nice if you are a fighter or a barbarian, because you can just throw a Francesca axe, pick it up to animation cancel, and then throw the axe again. When I'm looting these boxes, I always keep a 2x2 slot in my inventory free, so that I can pick up items and drop them elsewhere to get them out of the way, and then I can pick up the treasure that's under the items. Another important thing to be aware of is your efficiency, especially in the goblin caves. If you kill a goblin, they often think it's their time in the spotlight, and they will try to get their Oscar nomination. So while they are doing that, you can just do your own thing, like loot the nearby chest, and then you can loot the goblin if you wish to. Overall, the more time you save, the more points you can technically get in your run. So try to keep that in mind. When it comes to PvP, a lot of it comes down to preference, but while I often avoid it, I'm still always aware of the fact that there are not enough portals for everyone, and either way someone will have to die. Try to take fights where you have the upper hand. If possible, avoid 50-50 fights and try to go for fights where you have a high chance of survival. On that note, I rather take a fight with a rogue now than a PDR fighter later. There are also times where you can't escape from a fight or the whole lobby is friendly and you don't want to wait until the last minute to resolve that issue. So this fight with the wizard is from a session where I had started with a crystal ball earlier, and for that reason I have weapon mastery and recurve bow that I'm using, and it's actually really nice because I feel like there's no way I would kill this wizard if I had a crossbow, which is meta for fighter. This, for example, is a game where I had non-stop PvP almost, and I didn't have much time to loot. I did loot the wizard, and there wasn't much time for treasure, and in the end I only got 97 points for that. Usually I am aiming for something like 200 and above. And lastly, I'm going to show you a full game example, which I recorded while making this video, so I wasn't looking for anything super lucky or anything like that. A lot of games like this. Yeah, and this is also probably one of the best spawns for getting points, because you're really close to the static exit and there's actually high loot density. There's also a nice lion's chest that is always open and a bunch of boxes to break here and there. If this video did help you climb better or more efficiently, do let me know in the comments. I would very much appreciate if you did.